But the first documented cases of syphilis, the last time I checked, a very suspicious time, a very suspicious place. It was in Spain in 1493. You know, that's
pretty close.
It
right
seems
there.
circumstantially pretty clear, that Columbus's folks brought that back.
One of the more interesting things that we found was that when you look at the rise of syphilis in Europe, that some are connecting at least some forms of syphilis to European settlers who had come to America and then gone back to Europe.
Yep.
And brought syphilis with them.
Yep. That, too, is being argued about right now. But
yes.
Right now, the evidence is quite clear. And we're talking about venereal syphilis now.
Yes.
Syphilis can also be a kind of a skin infection. That was there before. But the first documented cases of syphilis, the last time I checked, a very suspicious time, a very suspicious place. It was in Spain in 1493. You know, that's
pretty close.
It
right
seems
there.
circumstantially pretty clear, that Columbus's folks brought that back. Another thing, it was also absolutely devastating, which suggests that this was a new disease. It was not one that we had begun to, we've been around for any length of time. Terrible effects, fatal, insanity, fatalities. So that seems pretty clear. There's also evidence of syphilitic bone damage among native peoples going way back in North America. So I think it's pretty safe to say that.
Well, we've talked about it before on this show, but it's really interesting that that's the origin of the term bigwig.
Really?
Did you know about that?
No.
Okay, great. I'm going to tell you something.
Okay, great.
So there was, see if you could find out who these French royals were, but there was these French royals who contacted syphilis. They started losing their hair, and so they started wearing these, they put these beautiful wigs on, and the more money you had, the bigger your wig was. And it became, because the syphilis had just run rampant through this population,
right.
So many people were losing their hair, and they would get these holes in their face, these sores. It was really horrific. So these are the gentlemen. Samuel, how do you say his name? Pepys? How would you say that?
Pepys.
Elliot? Pepys. Pepys.
Yeah.
So at the time, hair loss was a one-way ticket to public embarrassment. Long hair was a trendy status symbol, and a bald dome could stain any reputation. Well, Samuel Pepys' brother acquired syphilis. The diarist wrote, "If my brother lives, he will not be able to show his head, which would be a very great shame to me." Hair was that big of a deal. And so the syphilis outbreak sparked a surge in wig making. Victims hid their baldness as well as their bloody sores that scoured their faces with wigs made of horse, goat, or human hair. Perukes were also coated with powder, scented with lavender or orange to hide any funky aromas. Although common wigs were not exactly stylish, they were a shameful necessity. That changed in 1655 when the King of France started losing his hair. And so these guys started wearing wigs, and everybody started wearing wigs, and the bigger your wig was, the more famous and rich and established you were, so the term bigwigs.
So you're a bigwig.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
That's a wonderful story.
Because, I mean, I heard about that when I was a kid. Oh, he's a bigwig. Like, that had made it to the 1980s. Like,
yeah, absolutely. I think you and I should look into this. It's a
no, I'm good. I like being bald.
Me too.
It's comfortable. It's so easy. You don't have to talk to barbers, shave your head yourself.
Yep.
I enjoy it.
That's me.
And I have a good shaped head, so I'm lucky. Some people have some funky heads. So you got a good head too.
Thank you so much.
So that is a story. That is part of the story, is this exchange of disease and the lack of immunity, and how much of a devastating effect this had on the North Americans who did encounter the Europeans.
That's right.